Kia ora and welcome to Basketball New Zealand's coverage of the Under-23 National Championships from Te Raparaha Arena in Porirua. Hello, I am Zika Coronel. This morning we see the bronze medal clash between two South Island powerhouses. Otago lost their semi-final yesterday to Tauranga, and Canterbury, as we see their lineup here, lost to a dominant Waikato side last night in the semi. In pool play, Otago won the head-to-head matchup over Canterbury in what was a pretty competitive affair. Otago's lineup you see there, led by Jeannie Patterson with 21 points last night in the semi-final, played a little bit of a lone hand, and that's why they find themselves in this semi. Teams going through their final instructions, always a difficult game to play, the third, fourth game. Had high aspirations of being in a final, has that taken away from you. And then you got to come out the next day earlier than you would have liked and play in a game that you really have to do a great job mentally to get yourself up for. Actually represents a great opportunity for players to show their ability to deal with adversity, an absolutely crucial skill for them as an athlete and as a person. So it'll be very interesting to see how the different teams approach it. There we see Canterbury in the red, as is traditional, and Otago in their traditional blue. Lily Nicol, she will jump centre for Canterbury versus Alia Dunn. Alia Dunn, the young prospect, had a good game yesterday, but foul trouble really limited the amount that she was able to impact the game. And first possession goes to blue, going from left to right on our screen. And Olivia Neal looking to be aggressive from the get-go and get to the rim. Ball gets deflected. Their ball on the baseline, Canterbury in a compressed 2-3 zone. Tauranga employed a compressed zone yesterday to beat Otago. And Patterson was the one person who could beat her, and she starts out hot early again. 4 of 8 on threes yesterday, 1 from 1 here. It is a good strategy for Canterbury, but the person that they cannot lose is Patterson. We saw the 1-2-2 half-court press yesterday. They were very conservative in it, and it didn't really generate turnovers, but that was a much more aggressive front, and Canterbury turns it over on the first possession of the game. Little zipper action here for Otago. O'Neill finds Patterson, closed out by a good friend, Kendall Hastie. Both good shooters. They should have an understanding of how to take away shots, and there's a nice inside pass, big to big. Alia Dunn with a little turnover, a left shoulder, and finds Estelle Schuler cutting. Here's the press again. They do a little bit better job beating it this time, but don't generate an easy basket. Lily Nicol firing up a left-hand runner. O'Neill finds Patterson hiding out in that left corner, and they've lost her again, and this time she's a little bit short on that shot. But that's not going to be a very good strategy for Canterbury. I'm sure it's not their strategy. Players need to make sure they execute Coach Josh Thompson's instructions. From a very prominent coaching family, the Thompsons, the Junior Championship Cup in Wellington High School basketball, named after his grandfather. And now Kendall Hastie gets her first look at the game, and she's a little bit long, but she went 4-4-6 on threes, scoring 12 points in the semi yesterday. And that's what she contributes, the young lady out of Kashmir, under the coaching of Ben Willocks and Christy Willocks. When she was there, they had a pretty good team. Normally plays with her sister Caitlin, but playing a lone hand here. And there's Patterson with the rebound from the miss by Tessa Stewart-Morrison. Stewart-Morrison, one of the leading scorers in the tournament, averaging 17 points per game to be 4th in the tournament. See Rose Davison, the former captain of Westlake Girls, made the semi-finals last year, losing to St. Peter's. So they played in this bronze medal game at the SHIT Championships last year. And we see Dunn not able to complete it early. And breaking out is Canterbury. Otago looking to get back, and they have lost a shooter. And they get lucky again there, and we see the ball deflected out of bounds by Caitlin Grice, returning to her hometown Wellington Girls College prospect. Lost 2 finals with Wellington Girls when she was at school. Always a very competitive player, hustling for rebounds. She'll be trying to have a good final game here, most likely with a lot of family in attendance. Done with a nice dive. And from the high position, we have a foul called. Foul called with a little bit of vertical help there from Grace. Feels like she's been hard done by. Dunn will go to the foul line. Dunn, a young lady, highly coveted by a number of sports from Invercargill, a member of the Junior Tall Ferns program, I believe. And I think she may have even had a Tall Ferns trial earlier this year. Long, athletic, pretty good skills. Big future ahead of her as she continues to put the work in. And this Otago 1-2-2, more aggressive than they played it yesterday, is having some real effect. But there's a nice high-low, and Caitlin Grice is fouled down on the baseline. Grice isn't a bad mid-range shooter. She's got a rather unorthodox technique. We'll see if that is still the same, having moved down to Canterbury and experiencing some different coaching. We'll see here a little right-hand shoulder push. She's able to complete the second. Gets Canterbury on the board with their first score 3 minutes into the game. Dunn with a deep post catch. And that's a lovely little action on the weak side, creating a little curl look for Davison, and Dunn knew exactly what options the offense was designed to create, and she found it immediately. 1-2-2, back to 2-3 zone. No, it looks like they have matched up. So we see Davison chasing across the lane. Deep inside catch here. And that's a nice left-handed finish from Lily Nicol. Nicol averaging 9 points a game for the tournament, but she had a little bit of a quiet semi-final, so she'll be looking to come out and rectify that. See a little bit of a stoppage here with the scoreboard, and promptly Jenny Patterson, the captain for Otago, huddles her girls together and giving out a lot of instructions, which is excellent to have a leader of that ilk, making sure that all her teammates know exactly what's expected of them. You see the entry of young Libby Van Harselaar, number 6 there with the black strapping. Young, athletic, big. Had some good moments yesterday. Canterbury looking like they may be interested in extending a little bit here too, seeing if Otago deals with that kind of tactic any better than they do themselves. And it seems to be a continuation of debate, and the referees appear to have called for their own timeout here. So there must be some kind of clerical area that is proving to be a little bit more complicated to fix. So early timeout here, possibly a good opportunity for Canterbury to address a few things. Otago not playing exactly the same style that they played yesterday, a little bit more aggressive in their pressure. We've seen the little weak side action screening that they didn't really exhibit in the semi-finals. So Coach Thompson, he would have been seeing these things occur, and this might be a chance for him to address them. So it'll be interesting to see if this little break is beneficial for Canterbury. Early going, not significant low momentum going in either way yet, but sometimes a little fire alarm going off when you're on a run or something like that can be pretty detrimental to your chances. See there, Coach Thompson outlining what he wants. Players watching pretty intently. It's always a good indicator to see how coachable players are. You know, everyone you see, even in the people who aren't in the game at the moment, listening intently. Canterbury does a great job with their youth programs. Later today, we'll see their boys who have been one of the standout teams of this tournament play in the final. That'll be coming to you on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page as well, or on iFilm. So hopefully you're checked in now and stay with us throughout the day. That Canterbury team's pretty impressive. awesome coaching by David Langrell, and it's a real reflection on some of the youth programs that they've got in place, the culture that they've built in Canterbury and the professionalism that they employ, and also the number of opportunities that they give to youth players to pursue their studies at the number of universities down there. A number of these girls taking that opportunity up and moving to Canterbury for their studies, and they still are able to play in an excellent under-23 league with Canterbury basketball, and also in this team. There's the Mainland Eagles Academy as well that's helped a number of players achieve college ambitions. So Sparky Dickel and the entirety of the team down there, a lot of credit due to their player development. It does appear that the referees have been able to rectify the issue and just appraising the coaches of what has occurred. And so we look set to resume the game. None of the players look overly perturbed. It's going to be Otago ball coming in on the baseline. Referee Matsuri Edwards explaining to Coach Thompson. Coach Thompson's obviously, he's put in a little bit of a rebuttal because they've gone back to the table to clarify again. It's probably been quicker legal proceedings than this that we're seeing right now. And finally, we seem to be back on the same page. Coach Matahari, I'm not sure if he's quite happy with the resolution there, but his girls at an early, strong position. They get a little rip baseline for Patterson, and well helped there, Canterbury, and it's going to lead to a run-out layout for Caitlin Grice. Excellent job on the baseline by Bianca Rappel-Arkin. Great help, great steal, and an excellent kick ahead. Her defensive presence early for Bianca has been a real factor for Canterbury. Nice curl for Patterson, and she's able to draw a foul. Nice post passing by Alia Dunn. She's twice found cutters off that right post facing. She'll probably be enjoying herself out there, not having to deal with the dominant Michaela Daish. Bit more experienced, stronger player, and Daish had 30 points in that semi yesterday, and though Dunn had her moments of success, she really had to battle hard. That's why Tauranga is going to be playing Waikato in the girls' final later today. That also will be coming to you on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page. So a lot of exciting basketball to come. Daish with 30 in the semi. Charlize Ledger says, I'll take that 30. I'll raise you for this 40 on 22 shots. A couple of unbelievable fringe tall ferns going to be playing later today. See the zone from Otago. Little split by Bianca and a little runner. Board by Dunn, and Georgia Teo, who didn't get to play too much in the semi, gets an opportunity now. And in shaky fashion, I've managed to break the pressure, and it's led to a Patterson 3 in that left corner. And as the ball exits screen, she'll be hoping to shoot a little bit more accurately than that. But I think high confidence player, I don't think that's going to deter her from shooting again. See how much higher the 1-2-2 is tonight. Great punch screen there. Gets the ball handler some space, and Kendall Hasty with a one dribble pull-up. Leaves a little bit short. O'Neill, she's always looking for those runners. A lot to like about her game. New Zealand under-18 squad member. Just needs to add some jump shooting ability, and she will be a heck of a player at the moment. Mainly a driver and a passer. Long, athletic. A lot to like there. Sure, at her own age group, she's a pretty dominant player. She gets a sub here, and Davison re-enters the fray. Davison immediately gets to work on dogging the ball, making Bianca uncomfortable, and you see she puts her on her left, and she's not quite as comfortable on that side. Inside catch here, and Dunn's length. Another shot block, back out, three-point fired. And Hasty, quite tall for a guard, able to give you perimeter shooting, but also has a lot of length and ability to get rebounds. And this shot clock will reset to 14 as opposed to 24. That'll be quickly rectified. See the refs and Coach Marahaere in a quite animated discussion. See Marahaere asking for a jump ball or a travel. on Dunn's block shot. Nice blow-by by Bianca. She's definitely winning the most hyphenated names competition in this game. Bianca Raquel, Arken. She's playing well. She can have as many names as she likes if she continues to play this way. Davison bringing the ball up the floor. She likes those little small crossovers, and she's able to get to her left hand and leaves the layup short. And here's the law firm again, Bianca pushing the ball up. Little drive and kick, and Patterson quickly to the floor. She's able to cause a jump ball. That's what Brent Matahaidu was asking for before on the block shot. And nice backdoor cut there, little back screen off the sideline out of bounds. The length of Dunn, we don't have live stats for this game, but she's probably already blocked 4 shots in this game. A heck of an effort in what still was a first quarter with a number of minutes to play. And the one thing that Canterbury is able to do is get rebounds, and that's no surprise. Led by Caitlin Grice, she's always been a really good rebounder. She played for Wellington Girls. They get another offensive rebound. This may be about the 4th or 5th opportunity on this end of the court. Cameraman can just go to sleep. It's going to stay down here at the left end of the court at this rate. They're going to get another offensive rebound. And Hasty shoots. And what do you know, Otago isn't allergic to the ball, and they do come up with it. No surprises there. Captain Patterson's the one that gets the job done. More of a perimeter player, but something needs to be done. She's going to step up and get it done, and they barely need a defensive rebound, and then Dunn makes an interesting move. Almost pulled it off. Young player trying to add to her game and her post moves. He's probably been checking out those Max Stoddart highlights, fellow Invercargill player, and wants to add some of his post moves to her game. And there's a lovely drive there. And there's no rebounding issues for this possession for Otago because they've conceded the basket. We see the leading scorer for Canterbury, Tessa Morrison, get all the way to the rim. I believe out of Phil Burns' highly successful Christchurch Girls program. And we see subs coming in here, return and nickel. A good depth on this Canterbury squad at the big positions. Morrison can play as an undersized big. Caitlin Grice plays big. Nickel, she's a good big. A lot of depth for them up front. Length at the 3 and Kendall Hasty. Hasty's been tasked with trying to stop Patterson, and her length might prevent her from getting as many clean looks as she'd like as Olivia O'Neill gets to work to beat the shot clock. Dunn with the O-board, and Patterson with the 1-dribble pull-up. Leaves it short, and then Hasty with the board. Morrison, versatile player. She's a very good penetrator, and that's a lovely right-to-left Euro step. She couldn't quite make the lefty finish. She does keep the rebound alive. A very valuable player to have a big who can handle the ball. Nice rotation there by Gallagher, younger sister of Samara. Mum's been working exceptionally hard. If you've been on the Facebook page, loving the photos from the tournament, a lot of those have come through Mrs. Gallagher's effort as she's working hard now on the left baseline, clicking away. So we see good collapse there by Tessa Morrison. The defense on Tessa Morrison causing the deflection. Ball turned over there on the baseline, Canterbury ball. You see the entry of the new player into the game here, and Georgia May Jensen. Handing the ball now and looking to be aggressive, kicking to Hasty in that corner, well defended by Van Hassler is Tessa Morrison. The 3, and Gallagher with a good rebound. Van Hassler swings it across to Olivia O'Neill. The young legs. It's been a busy program for these young ladies. 7th game, I believe, in 4 days. So a young player like O'Neill, very fit, you know, she should really come to the fore here. At the same time, not quite as experienced as some of these other young girls who have come through the New Zealand programs. So she has to trade off there as we see the foul drawn by Canterbury. Go to the foul line. Grace Riches. She adds to her wealth with the first free throw, making it. Makes them both. You see Olivia O'Neill getting an extended quarter time break with 37 seconds to go, coming out, and Davison coming back on at the point. They go into their little zipper high on ball action. Trying to get Van Hassel inside touch. She tips it out to Gallagher, and Gallagher fires a three but leaves it short. And there's Patterson once again on the boards. And she makes a little Euro step and drops it in. Gold Coast product. Obviously does everything by extremes as the quarter winds down. Morrison has to get busy here, and she makes a right to left to lefty floater, but can't make it. And at the end of the first quarter, outstanding defensive performance by Otago, changing their strategy a little bit from last night, holding Canterbury to 8. They have a 4-point lead as this quarter expires. There's Otago, coaching staff conferring. They'll be pleased with the opening, how this game has begun. 1-2-2's had effect. The players have played it in a bit more aggressive fashion. They've employed their zone. The one thing that Coach Marahari, I'm sure, will be addressing is boxing out. The shot goes up. As you see, he's doing a little mime, a pantomime there of the girls are watching the ball in flight rather than putting a body on someone, and Canterbury's just running in and getting rebound after rebound after rebound after rebound after rebound. I could go on, probably don't want me to, but it would be an accurate reflection of how dominant Canterbury's on the boards. So Coach Marahari will be happy with his young ladies' initial defense, and if they can address their rebounding, as you see Estelle Schuler, their starting power forward, re-entering the game there. At sub might be to help rectify the rebounding issues. You see the scene. Number of games coming to you today. 3-4 games on iFilm. Later today, both on iFilm and Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page. There will be live streaming of both grand finals. Canterbury in their huddle. They lost to Waikato last night. Waikato has been rampant throughout this tournament. We've seen them led by Charlize Ledger-Walker, 40 points in the semi-final. Canterbury tried their best but were unsuccessful. Tauranga played them somewhat tough, but they will take heart in the fact that they lost to Otago in pool play by 14 and turned it around for a 26-point win. So that, I believe, if my maths is correct, is a 40-point turnaround. They'll need something similar to be competitive with Waikato. Young ladies just making sure that they clarify Coach Thompson's instructions and understand exactly what needs to be done. Many of these players been a part of some very successful youth teams as they've progressed through their career. Otago taking a little bit longer. Coach Marahari, very experienced coach, along with Coach Gavin Briggs, coached Otago boys to a New Zealand Secondary Schools Championship in 2014, an outstanding team. He's also coached at the Tall Ferns level and was a very prominent Otago Nugget and Bay Hawk, I believe, maybe even a Waikato, I think it was Warrior way back when, out of St. John's under the late Mel Young, and they get another cut to the basket Easy layout, but this time Jenny Patterson is not able to deliver on one of Brent's 3 wishes and misses the layout. Otago, they're a little bit disorganized here on that side and gave up the 2-on-1. They do rebound though. They promptly turn it over quickly. Nice little rip through along the baseline and a nice little pass. Morrison playing with her eyes up, really aware of what's happening around her, and finds Caitlin Grice on the front of the rim. 2 free throws well and 2. And Estelle Schuler, I'm guessing that foul was on her. She drew her second, and that must be the reason for the lack of playing time. Now, we referenced what happened to Canterbury yesterday as we see Grice make the free throw. They ran into the Charlize Ledger-Walker show, basically. We'll give you some stats on that to give you a preview of what you have to look forward to throughout the day as they go into a little pinch post action, popularized by the Chicago Bulls and Los Angeles Lakers under Tex Winter and Phil Jackson. Not so much under Phil Jackson with the Knicks. Carmelo not liking that offense. Canterbury looking to reverse the ball, trying to get inside touches. And we see Richie fire from deep. Tough shot on that 180-degree face-up. Davison, she's a little bit of a stat monster. Collects a rebound here and there. Good closeout by Kendall Hasty, using her length to take away Jenny Patterson's ability to catch and shoot, because for a split second there, it looked like she was going to be left open for a transition 3 opportunity on the trail. Davison showing great awareness to create it, and there's Morrison with a lefty step back, and there's Caitlin Grice working those boards. Coach Matahari can talk about all he wants, but Caitlin Grice, she is a very competent rebounder. She continues to come back there, and that's what needs to happen. Jenny Patterson actually boxed her out, and instead of a rebound for Grice, she draws an over-the-back foul. Much better job by Patterson, putting a body on Grice and taking away the rebound opportunity. And we see a timeout called. Such a low-scoring battle. Every possession is going to be very critical. So we had referenced Charlize Ledger-Walker, who you will see later today on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page and iFilm, which we're bringing you this game on that medium. 35 minutes and 44 seconds, so Coach Corbin gave her a little bit of a rest. 40 points, 13 of 22 shooting from the field, 11 of 17 from 2, 2 from 5 from 3, 12 of 13 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 turnover, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Absolutely amazing stat line. And then to think she is one of the youngest players here, still in year 11 at St. Peter's, Cambridge. She's very ably supported by a very capable supporting cast. Sterling Walker-Pittman, a junior tall fern, very good defender. Alyssa Harawani, another junior tall fern, and the captain. She would really probably be one of the stars. She's got to win an awful lot throughout her career. She's basically played as, I guess, the Pippin to Crystal Ledger-Walker and then Charlize Ledger-Walker. She's won an awful lot, but she is one heck of a player in her own right. Kelsey Ballantyne, Zaria Poilava. Have one of the young Smilers, had a great semi yesterday. Star-studded lineup. And you've got the likes of young players, Koha Lewis, River Walker-Pittman, Zane Heddick, who all 3 regularly make tournament teams at nationals, and they don't even get any burn. This Waikato team is certainly impressive. Canterbury, they can't be disappointed. Nice backdoor play designed by Coach Brent Matahari coming out of that timeout. They've been working hard to take the ball out of Patterson's hands, and recognizing that, he designs a backdoor play. And well executed by his young ladies. Patterson with a nice finish. And we see Bizet given a chance to guard Grice now. Young player, doesn't play heavy minutes, but it's been called upon to see if she can do the job at the 4. Grice with a little mid-range jumper, and she knocks it down over Alia Dunn. You see Canterbury working their way within a single possession. Bianca now with Hasty out of the game. She has been charged with guarding Patterson. There's that little pinch post action, and Davison's able to get to the rim, but she's not as adept at finishing on that left side. A little bit of indecision here. Morrison playing as a point forward, finds Caitlin Grice. See, Davison does a little bit of everything. Finding Gallagher, right corner three. Too much Nutrigrain this morning. Canterbury having these little dead periods at the start of their possessions as they try to give their bigs a chance to work their way down inside. But the problem is when they get down in there, Alia Dunn is a very good shot blocker. Offensive foul called on the interior screen, and if that is on Caitlin Grice, that is at least her second foul. One on an O board going over the back, and I believe that offensive foul here was on her, and that would make sense. As we see, that is her third foul in the first half, and she exits the game. Canterbury girls who have been struggling to keep her off the boards will wipe their brows. Nice backdoor look again. They're getting some great weak side action, and this time Davison, even though she uses her right hand, completes the layup on that left side. Ball pressure from Patterson and Bissett. Bissett with a nice recovery back to the interior. And a acrobatic layup there from Morrison, and then Davison just comes in and gives the sunny Bill to retain that possession. I'm not sure if they play three halves, her suspension will count or not, but it was a heck of a box out. You see the entry into the game for the first time of another young big for Canterbury, Letitia Mulale. And another timeout call. The timeout's coming thick and fast. Coach Matahide has to put down his coffee. He's actually got to do some coaching for a second. He might want to give his players some caffeine shots. That might be the reason for the number of timeouts. Olivia O'Neill, she never needs one, plays with great energy. She's back into the game. Always see interesting the influence of their senior leader and point guard, Jenny Patterson, normally front and center. Listening to Coach Matahide and the young guards picking up on that example. Olivia O'Neill now taking that front and center position. Coach Matahide, very demonstrative timeouts, a little bit like a pantomime. Meanwhile, Canterbury, different style, very relaxed. They're just chilling. There's many ways to go about your coaching, and all ways can prove to be successful. You know, some relaxed coaches, very, very successful. Some quite intense coaches, equally successful. You know, Josh, very calm, composed young man, coaching in a fashion that's true to his personality. Davison misses both free throws. A great box out there by Lily Nicol. It'll be interesting to see how Alia Dunn goes with the number of bigs she's having to combat for Canterbury. They can kind of WWE tag team her a little bit, go in, battle her hard, and then if they get tired, as Lily Nicol's one of those, continuing to battle on the boards, and we see Letitia get another board. They're really battling hard, and then Dunn has to kind of deal with those, all of them. Will she grind down, become tired? Rose Davison extending the pickup point even further here, all the way up to three-quarter court. Ball reversal. Lily Nicol popping out to the perimeter. And she's kind of having to play as a 4, typically plays as a 5, but paired with Mulali here. Step back 3. Tessa Morrison, she's been liking those step backs. Hasn't completed any yet, but I have seen her have some big scoring games in her career. 4th in the tournament here, 17 a game, so she's earned the right to take some tough shots. Olivia O'Neill, she loves that little up fake and drive right. Scanner report on her is stay down. She does not want to shoot the three. There's Morrison getting all the way to the rim. A lot of attention there. And this is where Olivia Neal's good in transition. Deceptively quick in it. She's made a good find, but Bizette's not really a perimeter shooter, nor is Alia Dunn. O'Neill now fire from the corner, and this time, for the first time in 2 days, I believe she knocks down the three. She adds that to her game and can do it consistently. She'll be a very, very exciting prospect with her other skills and her length, athleticism, acceleration. Appears to be extremely coachable too. A lot to be excited about there for Basketball Otago and Basketball New Zealand with this young prospect. Now she creates a layup and nice unselfishness on the 2-on-1 back. Otago with a little run here as they quickly build a 9-point lead. So many timeouts have been called. Canterbury doesn't have another one, so the players themselves are going to have to rectify this. We have seen, you know, how prominent Grice has been. They were dominating on the boards with Grice's presence, and she got her third foul in this first half. And since she's gone out, this Otago run has started. We're seeing them still get some boards, but it hasn't been to the same extent as when Grice was in the game. Underrated player, Caitlin Grice. And there's O'Neill with a mid-range pull-up. Starting to show out in this last game of the tournament. A lot of animation from Coach Marahide, working almost as hard as his players. He's covered about 29 feet on this possession. And it's a blocking foul on Gallagher. Nice drive there by Grace Riches, I believe. No, sorry, Lucy Brown. Lucy Brown averaging just over 9 points a game. Had a great semi-final. Came off the bench, 18 points on 7 of 10 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3. In her hands now, Lucy Brown. Wonder if her parents are Peanuts fans. It's a very Peanuts-oriented name they've gone with there. Zipper high post from Otago. Olivia Neal's feeling herself and normally doesn't want to shoot the three, but now she thinks about it. Instead finds Alia Dunn diving to the rim. And we have a timeout called. The scoreboard is indicating that Canterbury has none left. Possibly that's incorrect, and the score sheet is what counts. Either that or Josh Thompson's just pulled a sneaky one. We'll assume with the competence of the referees that we see there in the foreground that this is a legal timeout. He definitely needs one. If he had one to use, it probably should have come earlier. Maybe he is confused too because the scoreboard numbers are changing rapidly on the number of timeouts he has used. Down by double digits. Was a close game. This has been a run fueled by the third foul of Caitlin Grice as she had to exit the game, and Otago's really taken the ascendancy since then. See the girls listening intently. Timeouts at Marahide have proved successful for them so far, and they've run some really nice actions out of timeouts. Left wing backdoor for Jenny Patterson that led to a layup earlier. So they'll be wanting to make sure they execute this play correctly. When they've done that, it has led to treats. And they've done that mahi. Once again, Otago with the prolonged timeout. Canterbury waiting. There's a number of laughs there on the court. Maybe Coach Marahide just had to finish his joke, you know, hit them with that punchline. Hopefully he'll share those jokes with us later. A change to man here. A little bit more intensity. And Kendall Hasty with a nice bailout. Fine Brown. And then working the interior. She wasn't in the game until very late, but Letitia Mulali has had an effect as she has given them a little bit of O-board presence. They've gone with the double big lineup. Normally, Lily Nicol, number 15 on the far side there, plays as a center. She is at this point at the 4. And that makes him quite a big lineup. And Van Hassler, who couldn't get the box out, exits the game very quickly. Alia Dunn yesterday sat in foul trouble. She's not in foul trouble today, so no reason why she can't play heavy minutes. She quickly re-enters the game. So there's Zipper high on ball. It's been successful, and Olivia O'Neill, they are giving her space. That probably is the scout. When they've come out, she's a very tall point guard, and she's been able to thread the needle into Alia Dunn. Reminiscent of a Papa Lucas type player with her size at the point guard position. She's playing good defense now, runs hard into that pick, and Kendall Hasty, after shooting it so well throughout the tournament and last night, she hasn't been able to get it done yet. And to beat the shot clock, Lily Nicol fires up a long-range air ball as well. Olivia O'Neill creating, Georgia T.O. with the catch, and she kicks it to Alia Dunn, and she takes a mid-range jumper. Rebounds out a heck of a long way, and Bianca with a rebound almost over halfway, but good transition defense there by Otago. Got 4 promptly back, and then Estelle Schuler, the 5th coming back, was able to steal that ball. Te Araha College prospect down at Otago Uni this year. Made the tournament team in the New Zealand secondary school single A competition for small schools last year. Olivia O'Neill in the same zipper high on ball play, and this time they give her space. She has all day, and at 17 feet, she has knocked down a couple of little mid-range jumpers. The one spot up 3, it's a little bit too easy. Spacing for Canterbury not ideal here with the 2 bigs on the court, very compressed, not a lot of room to drive. And even still, Arkin is able to use that little up fake and step through and draw contact. Coach Matahari is, I believe, arguing for it that it was a travel. First free throw doesn't go. This will probably see Estelle Schuler exit the game as well if this free throw is made, because she is in foul trouble. That is her 3rd, I believe, in the first half. And yes, we see her exiting the game. A little bit disappointed to be exiting a game. Final possession of the quarter here if Otago wants to hold for 1. Shot clock is off. And instead, Patterson goes early on that little left side where she is so comfortable. Right to left cross, one of her favorite moves, and she's able to get to the baseline and draw the foul. Here comes the wiggle with the free throw, does a little kind of toe pointy thing. Unorthodox, but she is a good shooter. Done with the offensive board. And we have a whistle on the reach-in in the bonus. So Otago haven't got many rebounds throughout this game. It has been the one area of Canterbury dominance. They concede an O-board there and an extra possession. This is quite costly. They'd sort of worked their way back into this game, and they give up Patterson. Drive baseline. She gets to the foul line, knocks down a free throw. Now Alia Dunn gets a rebound, knocks down her first. Misses the second. They do manage to get the rebound, but quickly stolen by Alia Dunn. And she can't quite finish before the half expires. But I believe they have drawn another foul just before the siren. Referees conferring as to whether the foul was before the siren. Canterbury and their Uptown Premium Good warm-up tops walking out onto the court, trying to bluff the referees into believing the half is over. Uptown Premium Goods, big supporter of basketball in Christchurch, makes some awesome apparel. I love my Kanye West inspired hoodie that I purchased a couple of weeks back, so definitely check out Uptown Premium Goods if you're looking for some cool sporting wear or street gear. See the girls on the bench haven't played yet, still with their Forever Christchurch City Earthquake Memorial warm-up tops provided by Uptown. They tried the best they could to sell it that the half was over by walking onto the court and starting to high-five people, but experienced refereeing crew wasn't having a bar of it. So Alia Dunn will shoot free throws, and they have put a second back on the clock, which is just long enough probably for Otago to get another offensive board and a stick back, but they're choosing not to rebound it, possibly worried about committing an over the back foul and giving Canterbury a 94-foot march for free throws. And in the end, it doesn't prove to be too detrimental for Canterbury as she misses both. But in general, a very good half for Otago, up 31-18. 5-minute halftime break. Rejoin us with iFilm. We're going to head to a little ad break and be back with Canterbury's attempt to come back after the break.
Glory League is a sports video engagement platform that makes everyday basketball players feel like NBA superstars by providing them with automatically generated full game videos, personal highlight reels, and stats for them to relive and share with friends, family, coaches, and teammates. So here I am, clicking into my video. I get the ball, I make a big shot, and I share it. So how does Glory League work? The Glory League scoring app communicates to our low-cost venue-mounted camera. The footage goes through our automated video processing engine, which zooms and follows the game just like a professional camera operator. The adoption and rollout of Glory League in New Zealand has resulted in record participation. We recently deployed our technology, which automatically embeds ads into the video environment behind the players, on the court, and into the crowd. Glory League is amazing for sharing, reviewing, coaching, and getting players hooked on sport through celebrating glory moments. It's family-friendly entertainment that ignites the game for everyday players, elite players, and coaches alike. The low-cost solution adds great value to the game at all levels. For more information, please visit gloryleague.com.
And welcome back to Basketball New Zealand's coverage of the Under-23 National Championships. This is the bronze medal game between Canterbury, who you see on screen, and Otago. Otago with a 13-point lead. If you're a youth player or perhaps a parent watching this game and you've got an up-and-coming young player who would love to represent New Zealand, an absolute honour, you need to make sure you're eligible. This involves things like having the appropriate passports, and especially if you possibly have been someone who has moved to New Zealand or you're an overseas Kiwi. It's 16 pretty much is the key age in FIBA, the international governing body's eyes. If you have your passport for a country prior to the age of 16, you count as a true local. After the age of 16, they deem you to be a naturalized player, and that means that you'd have to compete with the likes of any American imports that may move to your country, decide to stay, marry a Kiwi girl or something like that, and then they decide to have aspirations to become a tall black or a tall fern, and you'd have to compete for a single spot in the national team. Much harder to make it in that regard. Not impossible. We see that in the Tall Blacks, the best players now are the New Zealand-based players. The likes of Isaac Fotu, Corey Webster, and Tom Abercrombie are all local-born Kiwis who, even if they had to compete with a naturalised player, would most likely beat that player out for their spot. But you want to make your odds as good as possible. So that's certainly something you want to investigate. And if you have any questions, Basketball New Zealand officers will be more than happy to help. So make sure you use their website to find the appropriate contact details. You never know. It's always good to have it all nice and smooth, organized, because you never know what opportunities might develop for you in your future. Some of these young ladies here have really benefited from their youth experiences playing for New Zealand at the youth level. I don't believe any as yet have reached senior tall firm status, but they'll be hoping to reach that in the coming years. Canterbury are working on their shooting in the halftime break. Some final instructions now. Coach Matahari giving quite a detailed explanation in this short 5-minute halftime break to his young ladies. I think he's really trying to coach hard in this game to make sure that his players in a third, fourth game that is sometimes difficult to have the same engagement and effort, he's showing awesome engagement and effort, and it's really helping his team. They are locked in and playing really good basketball in this first half. He's really set the example as the leader of this group, ably supported by his captain, Jenny Patterson. She's also been outstanding, talking, making sure her teammates are engaged, being a bubbly personality. It's early here. She's got all her players really ready to go, and it's been a huge factor in their successful start. Are out this time early, ready to go. If you've just joined us, we're referring to Otago in the blue, Canterbury in the red. Typical colours for these two proud provinces. Canterbury will be going from left to right on your screen. They have the first possession of this half. You see Otago, they're in a compacted defense, and Canterbury tries to beat it by firing a three. And I don't need to probably speak for you there, because I would figure that Coach Matahari's instructions probably came through on the audio. Every single time, get a body on her was the instruction. Is the one thing that Otago has struggled with is rebounding, and her in question, is definitely Caitlin Grice, as Kendall Hasty for the first time this morning knocks down a three. She's a really capable shooter from the perimeter. So Otago doesn't want her to get going, because she could get them back in this game right quick, especially combined with the influence of Grice on the boards. It's going to be really important that Grice doesn't pick up that fourth foul. This was a competitive game until Grice had to sub out with that third foul, and that's when Otago took the ascendancy. So if Grice is able to play with discipline, intelligence, and do her work early, be in good position to guard the ball before the catch as opposed to after the catch, she should be able to eliminate the pressure to reach and keep her fouls down. Then she has to trust that these officials will do a good job and not give her any shaky ones. Can't really control for that though. Zipper high on ball again, and Olivia O'Neill blows by Tessa Morrison. You can really gap her on that perimeter, but she used the offense to lull the Canterbury defense to sleep, and then she has a great turn of pace. Morrison trying to earn those points back. She finds Lily Nicol, and Lily Nicol knocks down the lefty jumper from 15 feet. A number of left-handed players on this Canterbury team, making the scout a little bit harder. Patterson working along the baseline, and I believe she has stood out of bounds. It's been one of the features of this Canterbury performance is Arken, the ball in her hands now. She's had a really nice game, and she penetrates and finds Nicol, and I believe a foul has been called on Bianca, contesting that rebound. Boxing out from Otago a little bit better at the beginning of this third quarter. Nice breakout from Patterson as she's trying to get the appropriate wing entry angle to get the ball into Dunn on the post. Here's this high on-ball action that's been successful. They're force-feeding Dunn in there. That's not really the right pass, but when she's on the floor with Van Harselaar, it's two bigs who can't shoot threes. It's really hard for them to space the floor on these high on-ball looks. Van Harselaar, a young player, yet to learn how to move on the interior to create that space. It is possible. You think of the great Argentinian team that was the best team at the 2002 World Champs, but had Ginobili injured in the final and couldn't quite win it, and then won the 2004 Olympics. They didn't really have any three-point shooting bigs. Wilkowski could shoot a little bit, but the great understanding that Scalar, Wilkowski, Oberto had, they really show what is possible. And if you've got non-shooting bigs, as a coach, you probably want to be studying that Argentinian team and seeing how to utilize them. And the other one might be the Memphis Grizzlies with Zebo and Marc Gasol, another team that until this past year didn't have bigs who could really shoot threes but made it work. This is someone who can shoot threes. Jeannie Patterson. It's one of Brent Matahai's 3 wishes she's delivered on. Kendall Hasty can also shoot threes. This is a long 2. Hasty and Patterson, I believe, have played a number of years together in the New Zealand youth programs, know each other well, maybe made a little pact with each other, like, I need to get my shine here, just give me a couple open shots, I'll give you a couple open shots. So that's how it would look a little bit at the moment. I'm sure it's not the case. Kendall Hasty has been very attentive to trying to take Jenny Patterson's looks away. Her shots have mainly come in transition or when there's been a cross match. Be disappointing for Hasty. She's worked really hard to not give Patterson looks. She could really hold her teammates accountable. And something along the lines of, I'm doing a great job of not giving her looks. So you need to make sure when you get switched onto her, you do the same. I don't want to be switching back onto her once she's got hot and I've got to try to cool her off, because that's not going to be an easy proposition. Good boards there by Dunn. And Caitlin Grice, well, Coach Tris Thompson, I'm not sure what objectives he will be using here, but he's a pretty positive person, but I'm sure he will not be happy with her, because Caitlin Grice has just committed a foul that, for a smart young lady, is incredibly not smart. A little reach in, her 4th foul, so critical to this team. She's gone down, way down to the other end of the bench, possibly disappointed with herself, and immediately the effect of her absence is felt as Otago starts getting some O boards, and Alia Dunn scores on the interior. That foul there, I mean, there's a very good chance we'll look back and say that was the difference between the 2 games. Canterbury lost the game right there on Caitlin Grice's reach in on the 4th foul. She absolutely cannot have committed that foul. Davison with a good little drive, and immediately this interior is opened up. Otago probably sensing the opportunity that Grice exiting the game is presented. They have immediately increased their aggressiveness. Davison, who struggled with her free throw shooting in the first half, makes the first here. Big lead building now. Makes them both, and it goes out to a 15-point lead. Olivia O'Neill exits the game. A lot of intensity shown by Otago there as we see it, 40-25, Otago with a dominant run. We see 2-2-1 formation here. Otago looking to bring in fresh faces. Trying to keep this intensity up. Gallagher's a good person to be able to bring in off the bench. I believe we see there Caitlin Johnston. First time into the game for her. Coach Thompson looking to see if someone else can make a different contribution than he's got from the young ladies he's been playing up until this point. Patterson, lovely little righty floater. Good interior passing by Otago there. Johnston looking to find her feet in this game, a little bit passive at this point, trying to get her confidence. There's someone who has a lot of confidence. Tessa Morrison with a deep 3. We're really going to need to step up, and she's going to need to probably have a big second half scoring-wise. 4th leading scorer in the competition coming into this game. There's Patterson with a baby skyhook. Coming across the lane, thinking like she's magic. and she is the 7th leading scorer at this tournament. Johnston, she's got her confidence now. She fires up that 3, but hits the side of the backboard. And now Davison, she loves to get to that right hand, and she's able to, but she is deterred by Johnston with that little late contest. And now they find Morrison again wide open. This one a little bit drifting to her left and missed the shot. Kendall Hasty quickly coming out with that high right hand, trying to take Patterson's 3 away, but she's had to help on the baseline here, and it's led to Patterson having space on the interior. And 3 times in a row, she has floated in that little righty 10 to 12 footer. Nice pass there. Caitlin Johnson with a good little bailout, finding Mulali on the nice little cut, and she will earn free throws. This stoppage will bring about an opportunity for Canterbury, finding themselves in an instance down 18, taking a timeout and needing to talk about it before this game gets really out of hand. See Tessa Morrison with some stern words there, number 10 in the middle, really laying down the law to her teammates. She's playing a good game of basketball. She has earned some credibility to be quite forceful in what needs to be done here. And interestingly, we see the body language dynamics start to change a little bit for Canterbury as the doubts start to creep in. Earlier in the game, very tight in their huddle, much more engaged. Starting to see them really spread out, shoulders back, looks of exasperation. They're going to have to rectify their belief. Body language often being very reflective of your thought processes, and at the moment, it's looking like a team that needs to galvanize itself. Lily Nicol there with a big plaster over her face. She obviously got cut up there, and the referee's coming to make sure that that's taken care of properly and ask about her well-being. She's all smiles, so it seems to be okay. Once again, Otago with the longer timeout. They've been very good out of timeouts. I'm sure Coach Matahari would have been a little bit disappointed after yesterday, and he's really responded with some excellent plays today. They have won that battle. Really do believe that after timeout situations, a really great chance for coaches to support their players. The players sacrifice so much. They put their bodies on the line, play through niggles, injuries, as we see Mulali go to the foul line. Misses them both. Good rebounds by Tessa Morrison, backing up her stern words in that timeout. But coaches can really do their homework, work hard, and make sure that they win those out of timeout battles. It's one of the ways that they make sacrifices and show toughness to really support their players who give their bodies up. Coach Matahari's accomplished this today. Estelle Schuler, she's coming back in. Timeout. It's not good signs that she won't commit another foul there as she accidentally crashes into Alia Dunn on the attempted double high five. Let's hope that she's able to be a little bit less crash into people here, because she's barely played in foul trouble. She'd love to play more minutes. And we see another step through back to that right hand, and this time they foul her, but it doesn't matter. Jenny Patterson is feeling it on that right hand floater. Tessa Morrison, not sure what she's studying down there in Canterbury, but possibly to become a barista, because she's a barrister, not a barista. Well, I don't know. Both of those will probably work. You've either got a good argument or a coffee. Either way, you're probably going to be pretty convincing. And Patterson misses the free throw, but gets the rebound and gets straight back to work on getting a foul. And she's enjoying herself quite a lot. It's Rose Davison must have told her a good joke, because they're laughing. Good to see them enjoying themselves. Disappointment of losing a semi. They would have had high hopes that maybe they would win a national title. Michaela Dyche put the end to that alongside the Rogers sisters, Coach Rachel Guerra, and the entirety of the Tauranga team. Courtney Wilson with some great defense. Ensure that they'd move on to the final that we'll see here on iFilm, and also in addition on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page later in the day. Kendall Hasty's probably thinking about pulling that deep three. She does have some range. Well closed out by Rose Davison. Nice move by Tessa Morrison, but she can't complete it. Good discipline by Otago not to put a hand in and put her on the foul line. And now we see hard close out. It's got them in rotations. Lucy Brown, she took away the three. An accurate passing is going to give them a chance to recover, but Bazette fires a three short. Bazette board. And nice cut by Davison. Great defense by Kendall Hasty. Great verticality and length, but boards by Otago, and eventually the score after dominating the boards in the first half. Canterbury, in the absence of Grice, just hasn't been able to get control of the boards in the second half, and in fact Otago now has the dominance. So it's gone from being a decided Canterbury strength to a decided Canterbury weakness. Such is the importance of Grice. That foul that she committed, so critical. She'll rue that temporary moment of ill discipline. Baseline out of bounds. Look here for Canterbury. Not much going. No screen set. No real cuts made. They discard the opportunity to score on the baseline out of bounds. Interesting decision with that play selection. And now numbers advantage, and Estelle Schuler has drawn a foul. Coming back to that right hand. Blocking foul, two foul free throws will result as Otago has really dominated this late second quarter, early third. And Kendall Hasty now, I believe, with her fourth foul, the person that gives them their best perimeter shooting and their best prospects of a big comeback exiting the game. So of the Canterbury key players, Grice averaging 10 points a game throughout the tournament and a great rebounder. She's out of the game in 4 fouls. The best shooter in Kendall Hasty out of the game, averaging 8 points a game, but could go off at any time as she hit 4 of 6 threes in the semi. She's out of the game in 4 fouls. So they're really bleeding a lot of their best attacking options. Little screen set there by Nickel. They execute a little bit more complicated play and swing to Morrison. She leaves the three short, and a heck of a box out there by Gallagher. Basketball family. Dad's been a prominent administrator throughout the years. Really does a great job in supporting basketball in the local region. Mum, huge supporter, and we do see there a left wing, left-handed three from Arkan. That's someone's going to have to step up for Canterbury. Of course, Anna Gallagher's older sister, Samara, a player within the Tall Ferns program, and Olivia O'Neill with a nice drive right. Canterbury would really benefit if they'd start sitting on some of these right hands a little bit more and pushing these drives left. They would take out some of the effectiveness of these Otago players. Not to naught, but certainly playing the percentage game, it would limit their effectiveness to a degree. O'Neill with a free throw. They go up 21. Also allows them to set the little 1-2-2. Nice jump switch there by Georgia Teo. Just getting opportunity to play a little bit more here. Great defense by Estelle Schuler in foul trouble. Perfect verticality, but understanding that she would be reluctant to foul. Arkan drove it straight back and had a little Euro step. Estelle Schuler did get out the way, but one of the other teammates committed the foul. She's really looked to step up in these last few possessions with Hasty going off, and she's delivering. Good-looking young player here. Bianca Raquel Arkan. O boards there, Lily Nickel with her little lefty jump hook. Good pressure on Georgia Teo as they're trying to effect a turnover there. Lauren McNichol getting her first opportunity to try to contribute, and immediately playing with some great effort. Georgia Teo with the up fake and creates a shot for Olivia O'Neill in the corner, and O'Neill can't quite complete it. Potential last shot here for Canterbury. I think they recognise it. Instead, they fire it up early, and if you're going to do that, you really do hope that you make it. They do. But this is the difficulty that can create, as it does give Otago a position that they otherwise would not have. And Olivia O'Neill says thank you very much as she drives to her left and makes a really good finish to beat the buzzer. We go into the fourth quarter. Big discrepancy here in this game. Otago with a 54-36 lead. Otago's had a good tournament. They went through pool play 4-1 with their only loss coming to the undefeated Waikato side. They would have been bitterly disappointed after beating Tauranga by 14 in pool play to lose to them in significant fashion in the semi yesterday. They are giving themselves the ability to have a nice trip home with a positive finish to their tournament in this fourth game. Really sets the tone in many ways for how you feel about your tournament, how it went, and the chemistry of the group going forward. Probably shouldn't. It's triumph and disaster treat those two imposters just the same, but like it or not, winning and losing does have a big impact on, I guess, perception of how things went. You work so hard to make it about performance and process, but it's always easier when you win and you don't have to overcome or justify. It's much easier to get buy-in. Most successful teams, though, do tend to be process-oriented, always looking to see how they can improve, not being satisfied with being 19-0, wanting to get to 20-0. Still picking out little things that they can do better. Coach Matahaere will understand those processes intimately. Won a national title with Otago boys in 2014. Rare that a team outside of Harbour wins it. Even rarer that a South Island team wins it. So what a great accomplishment that him and Gavin Briggs built an outstanding team. And to look at what those players have gone on to do now, really a testament to their player development. Sam Timmins at the University of Washington, Joe Cook-Green, who will be playing in the final for an outstanding Canterbury team later today on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page or iFilm. He's gone on to be a very prominent player. We're going to see Benoit Heyman, who saved them in a semi-final win to Rangitoto. He'll play for Otago in the next matchup. That Otago boys team's really spawned a lot of great careers. Great testament to Gavin Briggs, Brent Matahaere, their coaching and their player development. First possession, Bianca Arkin trying to step up, couldn't quite complete the layup that time, and Olivia O'Neill had the buzzer beater to earn the quarter, my apologies. And Alia Dunn looking to get the ball inside. She can't make the pass, so instead she makes the M1 lefty finish. Number of New Zealand players over in the US college system. The number of opportunities that are presenting themselves in basketball just continues to grow exponentially. We mentioned Sam Timmins at the University of Washington. In the coming weeks, we'll see Penina Davidson of the California Berkeley Golden Bears bring her team to New Zealand to play as Patterson fires a three and Davison rebounds the errant shot. We're going to see Matt Freeman and his University of Oklahoma Sooners come to New Zealand as well and play. We could go on and on and on about the players that are playing in the US college system now, getting a free degree. So pursuing basketball, it just gives you so many opportunities. Many of these girls will be looking to pursue their opportunities. Canterbury, the home of Laurie McDaniel's, back-to-back WBC champions. Some of these girls, I'm sure, have been fringe members of that program, possibly where they have learnt their trade playing against some of the great players that played for the Canterbury Wildcats over the last couple of years. Ashley Gale, Shay Crotty, a tall, firm point guard who was part of their undefeated team 2 years ago. Number of players, many of them giving back, the likes of Hayley Gray, who coaches in the Christchurch youth programs. Really impressive to see what they're doing there, the Ali Feld Canterbury Wildcats program. So we see the three there from Bianca Raquel, and she's done a really good job pressuring Jenny Patterson in the absence of Kendall Hasty. They try to force it inside again. The spacing's just not there to really maximize Alia Dunn's screen dive potential. She'll be one of those players who will be looking to go to the US college system. Certainly she should be. There's going to be a great number of opportunities for her. You can play a minor sport like netball that really doesn't have a lot of opportunities globally, or you can play a sport like basketball that has so many more opportunities. Alia Dunn's going to be one that's going to have to make that choice. She is going to be good enough to get to the worldwide arena in basketball, I believe, so certainly worth pursuing for her. And that's wide. Tough and one finish for the tall Alia Dunn. Athletic and skilled. Great package there. Also significant opportunities as a professional player. Erin Rooney playing professionally in Europe, where there is significant money and opportunities to be made. Gillian Harmon, really, really good player in the Italian league. One of its most prominent. Another one of the tall ferns. We see a number of the tall ferns playing in the Australian Women's NBL, where there are great opportunities for them to be full-time basketball players and continue to pursue their passion. The likes of Michaela Cox comes to mind after her time in college at the University of Oregon. And a lot of these girls will have those opportunities so they continue to put the work in, especially some of the younger players. Probably going to have to buy a couple of extra mailboxes at the Charlize Ledger Walker household. The number of recruiting letters they're going to receive over these coming years. Going to have to buy maybe a couple extra gigs on that mailbox to take all the emails that are going to be coming in. US college coaches all over the country are going to be wanting her. Kendall Hasty, she's back into the game, and that time on the bench with foul trouble hasn't cooled her off one little bit as she immediately hits a three. And Canterbury, with the re-entry of their best players, starting to come back into this game. They're throwing caution to the wind now. Caitlin Grice back in, Kendall Hasty back in. It's no point keeping on the bench and playing in the last few minutes when they're down 20. The time to make a run is now, and Coach Thompson's recognised this. Otago will look to hold this run off. That layup that we just saw earlier will help stem any momentum from Kendall Hasty's made three. Tessa Morrison's played heavy minutes. She does look to be tiring here. Dunn, great kick out to the backside corner. Rose Davison unable to complete that three, but Dunn, she's not tired. Diving on the floor to create a jump ball. No surprises who the other person was involved in the dirty work there, Caitlin Grice. Possession arrow goes to Otago as on jump balls, the possession alternates, and this one will stay with Otago. Little pinch post action. Olivia O'Neill drives right into traffic, but she finds Patterson relocating, and Patterson can't give her that kind of space. Re-establishes a double juice lead, up 20. Rebound for Patterson, looking up, pushing the ball on this fast break opportunity. Patterson, someone who won't live in a moderate climate. Gold Coast and Otago, those are the two primary places. It's either got to be freezing or beautiful sunshine. Lovely day here in Wellington. This player's choosing to spend it in a gym. Basketball's that cool. On-ball screen here for Morrison to get to work, deflected. They're going to attain this ball on the baseline. They'll have 6 seconds on the shot clock. See what they have on this baseline out of bounds. Zone defense from Otago seems to have confused them quite considerably as to what they should do. They have been able to make an interior catch to Grice, and she kicks out to Hasty, who'll throw up a tough runner to beat the shot clock, but not so tough, she says, as she knocks it down. A couple of little fortuitous shots like that might be necessary for Kendall Hasty and Canterbury. They're going to make this run. They're running out of time. Good pressure there by Arkin, and she's got good hands. The flexible from Patterson forces her to go left, and we've seen her righty floater be absolutely money. Lefty floater not quite as adept at making it on that side, but Dunn with the O-board. Morrison with the short putback. pull-up. Otago are going to take their time. Little dribble handoff between Schuler and Teo. Teo with a grin on her face as she gets herself into difficulty. And swing across to Patterson, and she's barely touched the rim. It's been swishes on almost all these shots. As long as it leaves her right hand, it is pure. Hasty, good shooter herself, but she can't hit the rim, and it comes right back to Patterson as they play a little game amongst themselves. Patterson enters to Dunn, see if they can get a collapse as she relocates off that post entry. And Dunn has drawn a foul with a little rip-through baseline. One of the easiest ways to generate yourself an open catch-and-shoot three is to throw it into your dominant center. Will quite often create a collapse in the defense, and then you can just relocate off that collapse and get an easy look. That was Patterson's idea then as she was cutting along the baseline. Dunn drew the foul before that play could really fully develop. Big debate here between the Canterbury coaches and the referee. Not quite sure what about, but they are certainly not happy with the outcome of that debate. (69-47). Otago looking to extend their lead. Possibly the debate was around, we had on the scoreboard as we were tracking in the commentary, 70-47 on the official scoreboard, which is actually the one that counts. The score sheet, they had it as 69-47, so perhaps it was that discrepancy in the scoring that was the source of the debate. Estelle Schuler with the 18-foot jumper, probably at the extent of her range right there. Much better shooter from sort of 15 feet and in. And we see a good dive there. Great effort's been shown by Mullally as she's coming off the bench today. Schuler leads the way up. And a nice fake by Davison, and she finishes with the left hand, showing a skill that isn't so prominent for her at all times. Really well done. Three-pointer from Morrison. Can't give her that kind of space and time. One of the best players at this tournament. Gives you a little bit of everything. Pretty good passer. Great steal though by Arken. Morrison with the breakaway. And she finishes. She's very dynamic in transition. Can shoot the three. Can create shots for herself off the dribble. She's got a little bit of size. Can play as a perimeter and give you size and rebounding. Can play as a big and give you dribbling and shot creation. She's a very valuable piece. Dunn going over her left shoulder to that righty jump hook, draws the foul. See Tessa Morrison exiting the game. Believe that may have been her fourth foul. Probably leave her in the game now, but possibly this is a sub more as a eye to making sure that all the girls get an opportunity to play. It is the last game of the tournament. Third, fourth game. Do want to give people an opportunity to play. Give them that incentive to continue with the game. Kendall Hasty, deep three. Not quite successful, but she does have that capability. Inside catch for Dunn. And she kind of displays the ball in one hand and then nonchalantly just drops in a little mid-range jumper. Lucy Brown, she'll pull up behind the ball screen and leave it a little bit short. It's played heavy minutes, 7 games over the 4 days. Legs don't maybe have a lot of pop left in them. Olivia O'Neill bringing the ball up very slowly. You'll almost get an 8 count on the advance, and they find Jenny Patterson on the little pinch post, and she fakes the handoff to the baseline, wheels to the middle, and then was attempting a pretty crazy wraparound pass to O'Neill, who she thought was curling off her little rub screen. O'Neill wasn't. Luckily, she was fouled in the attempt of that nifty little action. She retains possession. 21-point game. 2 minutes to go here. Timeout called. Coach is looking to finish this tournament in positive fashion. Coming up next on iFilm, we see entering the stadium is in their green, yellow and white, the dynamic Hutt Valley High School team, a Hutt Valley rep team. They feature many, many former Hutt Valley High School players. They'll be bitterly disappointed to lose their semi to a really good Canterbury team last night. They'll be matching up with an Otago team that has been one of the surprise packets as we see the schedule for today. Had a couple of these games played already, but 12:30, see the men's bronze medal match, Hutt Valley and Otago. Otago's had some big scalps, knocking off a very favoured Harbour team in the quarterfinals, so they'll be looking to add another scalp to their kitty. And then the main events, the women's grand final at 3 p.m. That'll be on iFilm and on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page. You see a really young, really talented, dominant Waikato team. And then after that at 4:45, the men's grand final as we re-enter the live action. Otago looking to find Patterson, and she gets to the rim and draws another foul. She will definitely be a tournament team member at this event, being one of the very prominent players. Able to score from the perimeter, able to drive the ball to the rim, and then an absolute great chemistry player, great captain, positive, really optimistic. It's been really instrumental in having Otago up to play this game after they had a disappointing semi-final loss. You look at her, she's still trying exceptionally hard. This game is probably in the bag, but she's not interested in the scoreboard, trying to play to put the best performance out there that she can, pushing the ball up the court. And then we see her, the steal and the conversion. And they almost could have stolen that inbound pass. Lucy Brown, Patterson reaching in there, but she did get armed there on that little reach in and the foul. Good call by the officials. They're, of course, also trying to have the best possible game that they can have and minimize the number of errors that they may get called for, as we see Coach Marahaere bring out his stars. Patterson out, Alia Dunn out, Olivia O'Neill, the young under-18 player. She's got a lot of basketball to come. Secondary school regional tournament in a matter of weeks. Then the SHIC New Zealand Secondary Schools Nationals coming to you from Palmerston North. There'll be a lot of coverage of that. You'll be able to catch up with the live streaming. Keep an eye out on Basketball New Zealand's Facebook pages. Māori TV does a great job of covering that tournament. We've just been so fortunate to have the likes of iFilm, New Zealand Herald, Māori TV, all working together to put basketball in a prominent position in the public eye. There's so much basketball now that you can watch at the local level, youth level, NBL. Just got to know where to look on those live stream links, and Basketball New Zealand's Facebook page is probably the best place to be. So if you haven't already, make sure you like that so it comes through your feed and you know about all the great action. There's going to be a lot of great action to come. 3 more games and an awards ceremony later today. This game winds into its final minute. We see a bank 3 attempted as some of the young ladies who haven't played so much, they're really trying to make a little impact late, have that little moment for themselves. Nice little lefty runner there, doesn't quite go, and Olali, as she's done so many times on the O boards with the stick back. Georgia Teo, really great teammate, really well liked by her teammates. I'm sure they'll be trying to hope that she gets an opportunity late in this game. Breakaway here for Caitlin Johnson. And whistle goes, I believe. Foul call. See if Canterbury runs a little baseline out of bounds play here, maybe for Georgia May Jensen or Caitlin Johnson, who's taken the ball out of bounds. See if they can get them a little look. Georgia May Jensen says, I'll take a look, and fires the right corner three. It lands in the hands of Georgia Teo, and she will dribble out the clock. A very pleasing performance for Otago, bouncing back from a disappointing semi-final loss. 76 to Otago, 56 to Canterbury. A pleasing win for Coach Brent Matahari and his girls. Thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you in the games coming as this day progresses.
Schick Hydro versus a lube strip. With 7 Hydroglide gel pools that give you 40% less friction. It's designed like no other razor to protect from irritation. Schick Hydro, free your skin.